Hey everyone, welcome to my last video of the unit. This is going to be going over a couple of obscure formulas dealing with segments and circles. I'll try my best to explain why the formulas are what they are without getting too detailed. You can definitely skip the explanations. It will not hurt my feelings. The first formula is dealing with when you have a tangent to a circle, we say we can square that tangent. So we call it t squared or tangent squared. That's your tangent there. And that's actually equal to the product of, if you go to the other segment here, the outside portion, the outer, times the whole thing that outer portion is a part of. So in short of memorizing that formula, I want you to understand just why that formula is what it is without getting too wordy. So it comes back to similar triangles again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little triangle. So I'm going to take this triangle, we'll make it blue. And let's talk about proportions for a minute. I'm gonna mark an angle on there, okay? Let's look at the ratio of this segment A to T, okay? A divided by T. Now, if I look at a different triangle, I can make another one here. So I'm gonna actually connect these 2 points. And this triangle, not the one inside the circle, but the actual triangle from this chord to the edge of this angle over here, all the way through the whole thing. It turns out that triangle I highlighted in green is actually similar to the one in blue. Hard to see, so let me explain with some angles here. This angle right here is opening up to this little arc here, but so is this angle down here. So it actually has 2 angles, pairs of angles that are the same, because this blue angle is in the green triangle, and that blue angle is also in the blue triangle as well. So it turns out that I can say the ratio of this side A to T is actually equal to the ratio in the green triangle. Let me make that green actually, of side T to the whole thing over here, which is A plus B. So again, the ratio of A to T in the little triangle, this blue one I have, is equal to the ratio of T to the whole side over here, A plus B, because those triangles are similar. And if you can't see it, it's okay, but understand that what you're going to do is you're going to cross multiply those. So if I do that, I get T times T. Oh, guess what? That's T squared. And then I have A times A plus B. Well, the outer part is the A, and then the whole thing is just what those add to. So that's your formula in a nutshell. So let's operate it with it. We have 2 examples down below. We'll start with this one over here. Example 5, we have a tangent that's 24. That's going to be your T. And then in this other triangle, we have the 16, which is the outer portion. And we're trying to find the length of ED. Well, ED is this part right inside here. That's actually the diameter, but we can get more into that later. We're just going to call that X, but the whole thing is going to be the 16 plus the X. So if you think about that formula, we have tangent squared. So we're going to say 24 squared is equal to the outer portion of the other segment. So 16 multiplied by the whole thing. Well, that's going to be 16 plus X. Now to solve that out, we're going to square the 24. 24 squared is 576. You can distribute that. I'm actually going to divide by 16 and get rid of it. Doesn't really matter. If I get rid of that 16, I'll get 576 divided by 16. And that's going to give you 36. And then those cancel out. And then you'll just want to subtract the 16 from 36. And 16 from 36 is going to get you 20. So your value of x will be 20. And x in this case was what I called ED. So ED is 20. By the way, that's your diameter. So your radius would be 10 in there. And you could have solved this using the Pythagorean theorem and making a right angle, but it's a little bit more work that way. So I find this formula to be kind of a shortcut to that. Guys, try letter B. Pause the video, make a attempt at it on your own, and then you can unpause it and check. So on this problem here, the tangent is this segment. So that's going to be your tangent squared. The outer portion is going to be this 6. And then the whole thing will be the 18 plus 6. So your formula will be t squared equals 6 parentheses 6 plus 18. Now this is all housed on the right side, so let's just drop it down. T squared is 6 times, let's see, 6 plus 18 is 24. Which is 144. So t squared is equal to 144. Now I can square root t, and that's going to give you 12. So this segment out here is 12, and we have our answer. All right, guys, one more obscure formula to work with, and then we're done with the examples here. So get all this if you need it. I'm going to clear it off. All right, the last couple problems is an extension on the previous formula. It's very similar to it. So watch how I have it set up. I usually do the outer portion first. So I normally I'll put the B on the front here and the D on the front here. But what you're looking at basically is the outer portion times the whole thing of the same segment is going to be equal to the outer portion times the whole thing of the other segment. It's similar, except we don't have a tangent this time, so we can't really square it. So we just multiply it by the whole thing. All right, I'm going to try my best to explain why that is what it is, and then we'll get into the problems. So it comes back to similar triangles once again. The way you want to kind of think about it is if you were to connect these two, and this was an A over here, then what that looks like is this triangle being similar to this triangle. Again, these two angles, they open up to the same arc. Okay, so my ratio is really going to be, see if I can explain it here. I got this D right here. The ratio of D to the A plus B side in that triangle is going to be equal to the ratio of B to the C plus D side of this triangle. So you think about like this triangle right here is going to be similar to that. Those two ratios are equal. Well, once again, I'm just going to cross multiply, and I have this B parentheses A plus B, which is this. And then I have that equal to D parentheses C plus D, which is that. So it's the same kind of concept. It all comes from similar triangles. Let's get into it. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, so I'm going to have to clear this off. So the setup here, we'll do a letter A together. So we have the outside. I always focus on the outside first. And I want to write that. And then I want to immediately follow that with parentheses. Now the whole thing is going to be the sum of those two. So I'm going to keep it in there. I'm going to do x plus 12. Those add together inside. So the whole doesn't, I could do 12 plus x. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to do x plus 12 and keep the x there. And I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing with the 10. That's my outside here. And then the whole thing is going to be 10 plus 14. So there's my setup. I want to solve that equation for x somehow. In this case here, I'm going to work out the number on the right side. So 10 plus 14 is 24. So I can do 10 times 24, which is 240. Next, I'm going to copy the 12 and the x plus 12. I am going to divide both sides by 12. I find that easier to do that. So 240 divided by 12 will be equal to x plus 12. 240 divided by 12 is going to be 20. And so x will be 20 minus 12, which will be 8. So this will be 8. I'm going to double check that work. So if you want to check to make sure you're right, you can always go back and plug in 8. So 12 parentheses 8 plus 12 is 240. And if I go over to the other side, 10 parentheses 10 plus 14, also 240. So 8 is going to be your answer. Try letter B. Unpause the video and we'll check our answers. All right, same deal here. Your outer portion. We'll start with the 3. That's going to multiply by the outer and the inside together to give you your whole. So don't forget to add those. So it's going to be 3 plus 2x. And then we're going to set that equal to 4. That's your outer portion here, times 4 plus x. Don't forget the whole thing is those two added. Again, we're going to solve this out. So this one is going to require some distributing because we have an x on both sides. So let's go ahead and distribute that so we don't have to awkwardly deal with decimals. So we'll have 9 plus 6x and then over here I'm going to have 16 plus 4x. I'm going to want to subtract the 4x from both sides. So let's do that and get the x to be 2x instead of x is on the other side. So it's going to be 9 plus 2x is equal to 16. Next, I want to subtract the 9 from the 16. And I'm going to get 2x is equal to 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 is going to be 7. So 2x is going to equal 7. Therefore, I can divide by 2. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Let's double check our work. Back into my calculator, I'm going to go and plug in 3.5. So 3 parentheses 3 plus 2 times 3.5 will be 30 on the left side, and then 4 parentheses 4 plus 3.5 will be 30 on the right side. We have our answer. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.